Golriz, it's lovely to have you here. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. I guess we should start with the question that everyone has asked over and over and over since January, and that is, what the hell were you doing?
And actually, I'm one of those people. I've asked myself that well before January, and I'm as baffled as anyone. I just know what it feels like, which is just deeply shameful and distressing. I can now put it into context because I have, a psychologist's report and various experts, and I've had time to process. But I think first and foremost, it's, for me, it's the shame of doing something that harmed others. What the hell was I doing?
Do you know better now what the hell you were doing?
People ask me this, and it's like, it wasn't to get a little bit of joy, because there was no joy, and it just felt like it was just shame the whole time. But it was like, you're this person, and in my mind it was, I don't know, I think it was something tangible that I could point to go, there's something wrong with you.
And why on earth would somebody who is an MP, who is a law graduate, who has so much to offer the world, self-sabotage? Again, with time and processing, I can put it into the context of a long period of being in quite a dark place and trying to be strong constantly, be strong, turn up, be strong, feeling not strong, and then doing that spiral of, you're not good enough, there is something wrong with you, why aren't you strong enough? But I guess it was, the self-sabotage was to get out. And if I'd actually sat down and processed the fact that I needed to get out, I would have done things differently. And that is my great regret, like to have actually caused other people stress and harm because I couldn't stop and go, well, actually, if there's something wrong with you, get help or quit, which is what I should have done.
It's really, I find that quite interesting because I know that there are going to be some people who kind of poo-poo what she's saying, of course you had control. And let me not go deep, but just reveal a bit about myself. As someone who struggled with addiction, well, I think it's going to be for all of my life. I was just having a conversation with someone today, and my addiction issues around food, okay? And for people who then roll their eyes and go, fat people addicted to food, just stop eating. The way I would describe it is I, through my life, have treated food exactly like an alcoholic treats alcohol. So if you look at the patterns and behaviors, it's the same. It's the same. And I had a conversation just today with someone talking about when you're in the midst of an addiction. Now, this is not what Golriz is talking about, but talking about how in your mind you can or can't do something, but the actions still happen. That I would be, I don't know if I've ever told this. Tell me if I've told this to you. The worst I was ever, in my throes of addiction, is I would leave central Auckland, drive down the Northwestern motorway, stop at Point Chev, go to McDonald's, get a double Big Mac full meal, eat it, get back on the motorway, drive out through Avondale out to New Lynn, stop at McDonald's, get a full meal, get back in the car, go home to dinner, and have to eat it because it's a secret. You can't reveal to your wife or family that you've just done these things. Now, I knew in my head that I wasn't really even hungry, and I knew that I'd begin dinner when I would get home, and I have no idea, while I'm stopping, going, I don't need to stop. Yeah, but if you don't need to stop, that means you can stop because you don't need to, and if you didn't want to, you wouldn't. So it's okay if you do. I could give up if I want to, that kind of vibe. People who say that typically can't give up. They've just convinced themselves that if they wanted to, they could give up. So on some layers, I kind of understand this idea of not knowing why you're doing something that you're doing, and literally while you're doing it, saying I shouldn't be doing this, then you still do it. So I'm not saying I get it for Golriz, but I get it for that headspace of I don't know why I stopped twice on the way home to eat a full meal. I didn't need to. And while I was doing it, I know that I was, especially at the second stop, I wasn't hungry to do it, but I still did it. And I don't know why. So I kind of feel a little bit for her and kind of get the idea of going back to my worst days, going, I can understand how the head doesn't always line up with what your actions, even though the head's telling you these actions are wrong, Chewy. That's what I'm trying to say.
This is such a multi-layered thing, and I've seen a lot of comments, both pro Golriz and anti-her, that are coming at it from a point of view from someone that has a fully functioning, working brain.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that as a slight on someone that is going through something. The brain is a fucking mystery box that, like, your brain chemistry is off. You do shit that doesn't make sense. So for someone to go, I don't understand why an MP on an MP's wage goes to a high-end boutique and takes clothes that she could easily afford.
Yeah.
That's a rational thought process. What her brain's doing is not rational. This is someone that is going through some stuff.
Mm.
You know, it's the classic self-sabotage. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if these things that she's done were almost like an out-of-body experience, whether there was part of her brain screaming at her going, what the fuck are you doing? And it just happens anyway.
But I mean, like, that's what I'm saying to you. What I'm saying about my experience with my behaviors.
It's not rational.
But it's the same. What the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing it whilst you're doing it? I mean, obviously, I've never committed a crime or anything like that, but I understand how the brain can be going, why are you doing this? You shouldn't be doing this. This is ridiculous. You don't know to be doing this while you're doing it. I understand that completely.